All right. Welcome to another episode of Bullheaded. This is episode 32, and I am here with P. Bush and Zoo. What's up, fellas?
What's up, Sean? How you doing, man?
It's been a beautiful week for the Chicago Bulls, baby.
Hey,
with two big W's, man. I got a shout out to future All-Star Zach LaVine. I'm just saying it right now. He's going to be an All-Star this year. He better be an All-Star. He better be an All-Star. The guy drops 30 easy, man. Easy.
All the time, man. Any night.
That step back, have mercy, man. Have mercy, man.
I got to say, Zoo, that performance against the Pistons, though, was a little nerve-wracking. I got to say that.
After the first half, I was like,
for a while. Jeremy Grant looking like a Hall of Famer out there.
Yeah, that's that Bulls defense for you, man. That's that Bulls defense, man. But I'm good with the offense, man. I'm good with Zach LaVine taking over. Man, it's beautiful to watch.
They got to learn to play the
beautiful thing to watch.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the Bulls, they have a lot of young talent. Shout out to Patrick Williams. He made a big shot the other night in the corner. Just growing up. He's growing up, man. It's a good piece. It's a good piece.
You see that throwdown in the lane, too?
Oh, yeah. Man. Dude, Stacey King called him not the claw, the paw. The paw, baby.
Patrick Williams.
P-Dubs the paw. Such a beautiful nickname,
That's a great nickname.
I love it, man. Oh, that's such a good name, man.
Yeah. But speaking of Patrick Williams, he was a star last year for Florida State. And, Florida State has always had, as like of recent, they've had really good teams. But we're going to start this show off with the college basketball aspect. And, it's been a weird season, to say the least. Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke, they all have been struggling. Kentucky probably being the most surprising with their, I think they're like 5-12, 5-13. It's just a weird record. I'm going to ask the guys who they think is some sleepers, who they think is a contender for March Madness because it's right around the corner. So I'm going to start off with you, Zoo. I think you only got one team in mind, and I want to hear who that is. Who you got, man?
Man, Pat. You know my track record. I'm picking champions. I would say probably 40% skill, 60% luck, but it's pretty good, man.
I think you've been 3 out of 5 in the past 5 years.
Yeah, man. Not gonna lie. Yeah, seriously, picking the champion, man. But these are the criteria, man. I'm unleashing the Zoo criteria, man. This is the secret, man. This is the secret I've been doing the winning fantasy bracket tournaments, man. So take some notes, man.
I'm listening.
3 key factors. Number 1, you need an NBA point guard. If you do not have an NBA point guard, I'm not even going to look at the team because you need a guy to stabilize the offense, especially in the tournament basis. You need a guy that be able to have leadership abilities with galvanizing the troops, leading the troops, and be able to handle pressure. So I'm looking at NBA point guard. So that knocks out probably 50%, over probably 80% of the teams right there because not every guy has NBA point guards. Number 2, this is a really obvious one. These college basketball championship teams are super talented. They always have multiple NBA players, right? Multiple NBA players. So I'm looking at the mock drafts right now. And there's only a couple teams with multiple NBA players in the lottery, right? So I'm looking at in the lottery, top 30 first-round picks. And multiple first-round picks right there, man. And this is a little secret right here, man. This is another one. The AP college basketball rankings, man. I'm telling you the secret. Week 4, there's something special about week 4. If you look at the history of college basketball since 2003, the champion has always been top 12 in the AP poll.
Interesting.
Yeah. So since 2003 till now, every champion, if you look at even that Butler team, that UConn team, they were top 12 in week 4. Something special about the schedule starting out with all the difficult opponents, because even in the beginning, man, they're pretty accurate at ranking teams based on talent. And based on 4 weeks of performance, they could accurately see which are the top teams. So based on these criteria, there's only one team for me. It is Gonzaga, baby.
I knew it.
Gonzaga. No doubt about it. So obvious, man. So obvious. So obviously it hits the criteria with Jalen Suggs, who's compared to Jason Kidd. Oh, man. The Bulls can use a true point guard. So Jalen Suggs right now as the lead point, man. And based on some mock drafts, man, they got multiple NBA players, right? Multiple NBA players. Corey Kispert is a nice little wing player senior
Yeah.
out of Gonzaga right now as a complimentary player, man. They even got Drew Timmy, man, the big center, man. So they got multiple NBA prospects, right? And obviously they were number 1 in the AP polls in week 4. So based on this criteria, man, I'm just like, man, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. I'm going Gonzaga, the best team. I haven't been this confident about a college basketball team since that Villanova team that was wiping the floor with Jalen Brunson.
Hey,
that team was historically great. No, that team, I showed them that team never lost when they were healthy. Never lost.
They never lost.
Never lost when they were healthy.
And that's a damn good coach right there. Jay Wright knows how to bring those. He knows how to bring guys who aren't one and done talents, but they're like, 3 years, 4 years, make the NBA. He brings them all together. We got Ryan Arcidiacono on that team playing with Jalen Brunson.
Arcidiacono, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson. You see what the common things are? NBA players and NBA point guards.
NBA point guards and guys who aren't just you're taking a chance on them. You know that they will at least provide some value.
They could be a solid backup. Solid
backup, solid 6-man, great backup point guard. That's what you want. You want that guard wing play. Zoo. You're picking an undefeated team. I can't say it's that. It's like you picking the Chiefs, man. It's really not that far out there.
Hopefully, it won't end as bad as the Chiefs, because that was a natural disaster.
Hey, touche. But look, they're a damn good team, man. They rarely lose, or they rarely win, I should say, by less than 10. I think it's only happened against West Virginia this year, and they pulled off a 5-point victory. They've held number 1 from the preseason onwards. That is hard to live up to those expectations, man. That is hard to do, no matter how good you are, to maintain that spot, especially when there's another undefeated team in Baylor who is holding the number 2 spot for the same amount of time, man. This team, they got balanced scoring. They got Jared Butler shooting 45% from 3 as a guard, wingman. Not too bad. They've owned the Big 12 all year. They got Texas Tech, Kansas, Texas, West Virginia, all in their back pocket, man. They have all those wins in their back. Who's Gonzaga playing on a night-to-night basis?
St. Mary's and Kansas.
Oh, come on. They have 2 games left, man. They
beat Iowa when they were ranked, man.
They did beat Iowa, and that's huge. That was a big win. But look, the passing, the thing about Baylor, man, and granted, Gonzaga is a relatively good defensive team as well, but their point differential game by game for Baylor is 24 points. That's their average margin of victory, is 24 points a game. This team plays the passing lanes, they rebound the hell out of the ball, and they get out and run. They're one of the highest scoring teams in the nation. They can get hot very quickly. They have a quick defensive strategy. And I think that, Zoo, assists is a big thing. 3-point percentage is a big thing, and rebounding, I think, are the 3 key metrics, along with everyone always says guard play. I think everybody already knows that guard play is a big thing in March Madness. But those other 3 aspects are where the difference comes out. And, West Virginia in years past has had great rebounding teams, but they don't have that quick defensive ability. That's something that Baylor has, so they're going to be an interesting team to watch. But a couple other teams I got in there, couple Big Ten teams, man. I don't think they're going to win it all. But if I'm looking at the Final Four, the Big Ten is dominating college basketball right now. You got Wisconsin, you got Iowa, Illinois, Ohio State.
Where the hell is IU, man? It's trash.
Indiana, hey, they may sneak in. They have some solid wins. They beat Iowa twice. That's pretty impressive. Not a lot of teams can say they did that. And they held Iowa to under 80 points. That's the only team in college basketball all this year to hold Iowa under 80 points. Twice in 1 year. But look, man, Iowa, not Iowa, Illinois. I know, Zoo, this is our home state, man. We got a lot to say about this team. You want to talk about some guard play? And one of the hottest names in college basketball, man, his name is Ayo. That is the best name in college basketball. He's averaging 21 and 6 a game, shooting over 40% from 3-point land. And he's 6'5", Zoo. He is 6'5", averaging 21, 7, and 6 as a 6'5" point guard. You want to talk about a solid guard play? He could be a steal in the draft.
He's projected a first-round pick.
Projected first-round pick. That could be a solid mid to late-round pick, in my opinion. Let's hope the Bulls end up getting mid-round pick, making the playoffs this year. Could be a solid steal to back up Kobe White for a year and maybe take over that job. But man, this Illinois team is huge, and their last game of the season is playing against number 4 at the current moment, number 4 Ohio State. That is a hell of a good game. That is number 4 versus number 5 going into March Madness. The Big Ten has a lot to shake up right now and a lot of damn good guard play. I think they're going to be the most interesting conference to watch and the most interesting tournament in conference areas, because they go the conference tournament into the March Madness tournament. I think the Big Ten tournament is going to be a hell of a fun time to watch.
So you're talking about Baylor, right?
Yeah.
Do they have the lead guard?
Yeah, Jared Butler. He's pretty good.
You think Jared Butler is the guy? You think this guy could make an NBA roster? Jared Butler?
He's putting up 17 a game right now in a tougher conference than Gonzaga has. That's better than, Jalen Suggs is playing well, but what's the competition he's playing against night in and night out? Who are they playing tonight? They play in about an hour.
Don't matter, man. Of course he's going to make them look bad because this guy's a projected top 5 pick, baby. Top 5 pick as a true point guard. And he has a wingman dropping 19 a game. Yeah, a white sniper. Come on, man.
A white big man, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's Gonzaga at its finest.
Dude, it is, man. I'm just saying this roster looks like the best roster in NCAA. It fits all 3 of my main criteria. So if we got March Madness happening this year, Gonzaga, you already know who I'm picking to win the title, man. No question about it.
I think Baylor's going to be right there, man. I mean, look at Jared. What do you think his PER is, Zoo? What's a good PER in the NBA? Anthony Davis leads the league, doesn't he? At 28?
Probably 28 to 30.
Yeah, so Jared Butler's PER is 28.4. He's averaging 17, 5, and 3 with 49% shooting and 45 from three-point land. That's pretty
impressive. That's pretty impressive. But I don't know. There's also something about the historic program of a school, man. Baylor, I don't know. It just doesn't do it. It ain't a blue blood, man. Ain't no blue. Something about blue blood schools. It seems like every single year there's a blue blood school that gets it done, man. I don't know why. Yeah,
and you
consider Gonzaga. Yes, they're in it every year.
They're
man.
a new school.
They're always been like they're a new blue blood, but they've always been like a number 1 type seed. Like historically,
Adam Morrison.
Yeah, since Adam Morris, I remember since we're in high school, like Gonzaga is always a number 1 seed because the division is so bad. So historically, they've been a good basketball program, and I think that's really, really important. Especially, there's no team that's going to go from being a nice program to winning a championship. Like that just doesn't happen. Wild. You usually build your program up to a certain level, and then you win a title. So it's not really unexpected. Even like schools like Villanova who didn't get it done, you saw them building a program. And I think Gonzaga has built a program, even though like Gonzaga is in the middle of nowhere, but they've built a basketball school. They've built a great school.
And like Villanova, for example, I mean, they had great teams back in the day. And then you just see like the transition of when they kind of ended their reign back in like the 80s, early 90s, and how long it took them to get back to the championship level type play. And it's not like they were bringing in 5-star recruits every year. They were molding players and they had the right coach. It was just a perfect storm for them. So I agree with you, Zoo. There's teams that kind of come out of nowhere, but will they make it all the way? Probably not.
That's my point. It's my point. It's about picking a champion, baby. It's about picking a champion.
It really is. And it's funny because like Sean said, he introduced this. I mean, all the blue blood schools that we're used to seeing are not there. So you're looking at this top 10 and you're like, is Alabama real? Is Houston real? Is Virginia real? Virginia just lost by 20.
Cute stories, man. Cute stories, man.
And Villanova lost by 20 to St. John's a couple nights back. I mean, it's been rough going in this college basketball season. It's going to be a hell of a March, though. I think it's going to be a free-for-all. But right now, I think the 2 locks for number 1 seeds are Baylor and Gonzaga just being undefeated at the moment. And then you got kind of the Big Ten teams fighting for those last couple number 1 seeds. And a lot of them play each other in the last couple weeks. So it's going to be a hell of a last couple weeks of this college basketball season.
I think this year is going to be a really, I don't want to say it's unconventional, but I think there could be a weird tournament because of, like I said, the Blue Bloods being down. I don't really know who's because too, with all the games, some games being canceled, some teams not really missing nothing but 1 or 2 games. I'm interested to see who they're going to actually put in the tournament. And I feel like once I see who gets in the tournament and how it's seeded, then I will be more comfortable. Like I said, though, March Madness, Gonzaga, I guess she's considered a blue blood. Villanova to an extent, because they have a lot of ties to the Big East. I remember I think it was a documentary they had, 30 for 30 or something like that, talking about their ties all the way back in, I guess, the 60s, 70s. So Villanova could kind of be considered a team that's basketball-wise, that's a blue blood. But I don't know. Like, I like Gonzaga and Baylor. Jalen Suggs is, like, my, like, number one guy because I just think he does everything well. But I could totally see a team like Ohio State, Illinois. Like, my sleeper, which is people will say homer pick, but I like Florida State because they got an NBA guy, and it fits Zoo's criteria in terms of which I don't know if he's going to play this in the league, but Scotty Barnes, like for Florida State, he brings the ball up and he initiates offense. He's like a 6'9". He's like got the build of a power forward, but he initiates offense and he gets them in a lot of good sets. And they go 10 deep, which I like a lot. And they can shoot.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, the thing that you always have to go with March Madness is you got to have guard play. And the perfect example I bring up is UConn. I don't know if you guys remember.
I remember all those UConn teams. Kemba Walker, Shabazz Napier, Ben
They
Gordon.
all had guards. They all have guards that could, like you say, get you a bucket, and they get hot. Like Shabazz's year, I think, was the one year that was just like crazy. Like he was just making everything. Him and
Boatwright.
Boatwright.
Yeah. I think Lamb was a year before with Kemba. Yeah. But it's all about guard play. So I'm interested to see. What's going to happen with March Madness. Like I said, this year it might be unconventional. I don't think it's going to be a blue blood that tears down the nets, but we will see. Transitioning to the NBA, All-Star starters. It's kind of crazy how the timing went down. They came out right when we got on air. So, the starters for the East were announced. Starters for the West were announced. I think they're probably going to do reserves next week. I think that's how it goes. But want to hear the guys' thoughts on the starters. Do they agree with them? Do they think some starters should have made it? Whoever. P-Bush, I'm going to start with you, man. Are you cool with the starters from the East and the West?
I'm going to start with the Western Conference because, I had to make my picks going into the podcast and, they announced them right before. So we were talking about it, pre-broadcast. But on the Western Conference, I was actually able to get 4 out of the 5 correct. I have Steph Curry. The man's been unconscious, man. He's just been carrying the Warriors all year. I think everyone knows it's a guarantee. Hell, even if the Warriors weren't playing relatively well, I'm sure Curry would have still been up there in the All-Star voting. I did have Damian Lillard over Luka Doncic, man. I had Lillard over Doncic.
I'm not mad at that.
And that was the only one that I was a little iffy about. I know Doncic, he's getting all that Europe support, man, when it comes to the voting. Which is always big. It kept Dirk Nowitzki in the All-Star game for years. But look, Lillard, he's been I shouldn't say one-man show because he's got a lot of help up there and a lot of great teammates, but the man's been unconscious. They're averaging right about the same, talking about him and Doncic. I think they're relatively interchangeable, but whichever one wasn't going to be a starter is still going to be an all-star. So I can't be mad at that. And then I got Kawhi and LeBron. I think they're both kind of staples at this point. Kawhi's bounced around the different conferences, being in both the East and West. But you got to get him in there as long as the Clippers are playing well. And my favorite all-star starter pick of the year, Nikola Jokic. I'm very happy that he got the nod. I think this man's putting up MVP-type numbers. The team is just not putting MVP-type record up on the board. The man's averaging 27, 11, and 9 on almost a 50, 40, 90 season as a 7-footer. It's absolutely ridiculous. He needs to up his free throw percentage about 2.5%, and he's at that 50, 40, 90, something that we attribute to Steve Nash, not in Nikola Jokic. It's ridiculous, man. So I'm happy with the West. I do think, Lillard and Doncic interchangeable, but can't complain, man. What do you think about the West, Sue?
Yeah, pretty much. I actually have the same pick as you, man. I have Doncic on the bench. Because of the Dallas Mavericks record as a roster, man. It is embarrassing. The Chicago Bulls got a better record. Bulls. And we had Lauri Markkanen out, Wendell Carter out. We've had so many injuries, and we have a better record than a team with Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. Come on now. Just come on now.
Porzingis is overrated, man.
Okay, stop that. Stop the disrespect to the unicorn, man. Just stop with the disrespect. The dude was 20 and 10 in the bubble, man, against the Clippers, man. Dude was unstoppable in the playoffs. But Kristaps Porzingis, the only thing bad about him is that he's just so freaking tall that it's so likely that he gets injured because human beings are not meant to be 7'3". We're not meant to be that tall. We're too close to the sky, man. Gravity don't like that. So I agree with you. Damian Lillard's season, man. The Portland Trailblazers are 4th in the West, man. They're a top 4 with CJ McCollum like out because of injuries, man. So this in Nurkic, that dude's always injured, man. I'm sorry, man. Nurkic is always injured too. So Dame Dollar carrying with Gary Trent is like his second best player right now. Gary Trent Jr., man, is his second guy they trust right now. And I'm sorry, man. I got to bring up this, man. Even as a Bulls fan, it hurts, man. That performance where he hit back-to-back threes with less than 10 seconds left, which killed all Bulls fans globally, man. Did the little Dame celebration, man. I watched that baby live. I was so in shock that it happened. Like, when he hit the initial three, I'm like, I can't get the ball inbounds. We getting some free throws. Drive home safely. BB. Nope. Nope. Oh,
not on his time.
Zach LaVine gets trapped. They get the jump ball. And, of course, they give it to Dame Doll, man. Lauri Markkanen with some terrific defense. He shoots it over a 7-footer. Splash, man.
What are you going to do?
Man,
can't do nothing.
Can't do nothing. This dude, man, he's putting up MVP numbers, man. He is legitimately I would say he's a top 5 candidate right now, averaging 30 and 8. 30 points, 8 assists, man. Like come on. 30 and 8, man, without his backcourt mate just carrying
with the top
the team.
4 West record.
Yeah, top 4 West record. Obviously, the tougher conference, man, relative to the East. So, man, it is mad impressive what they're doing, man. So I got to give Dame Dollar into the starting lineup. And obviously, LeBron, Kawhi, Steph Curry, Joker. I think those are just locks, man. You can't even debate the other spots. You can't debate the other spots.
You can't.
Man.
Now the Eastern Conference is a little more interesting because I've got so in this one I actually also had 4 out of 5. I thought that 2 of these guys could be interchangeable once again on the same team actually.
Brooklyn Nets, man.
Brooklyn Nets, everybody knows, is going to end up coming down, probably going to get 2 out of the 3, and that's kind of what it turned out to be. I had Bradley Beal. The man's absolutely unconscious. I mean, they have bottom 3 worst records in the NBA.
What a disappointment.
But he's putting up that much of a performance and that meaningful of a performance that he is worthy of being an all-star starter. And I couldn't agree more. It's been a long time coming. The man's putting up about 35 a game. So we haven't seen that type of scoring since the early 2000s with the T-Mac and AIs.
T-Mac, man, 32 a game, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Now, this one, I did have James Harden. I thought that, his ability to step back from the offensive game and say, all right, I'll take a couple less points per game, averaging, a measly 24 a game, which is still damn good in the NBA, but putting up 11 assists, man. This guy is a true point guard for them now.
He's playing point now. Kyrie said he's playing the 2.
Yeah. And the fact that they're on the same page about it is a very positive sign for their team. I did have Harden in over Kyrie, but I can't blame them for putting Kyrie in. He's putting up about 28, 29 a game too. Playing well, staying healthy as a team. It's pretty damn good. Got Durant in there, Giannis as well, both, in my opinion, locks for any All-Star game, whichever conference they're in. They both happen to be in the East now, so they're both in there. And once again, the same position that I am happy he got the nod, Joel Embiid, the starting center, man. We actually have 2 legitimate centers in
crazy.
The NBA
we debated
All-Star
about
game.
These 2 big boys, man, and now
we did debate
the best centers in each conference, and they're both.
And it makes absolute sense. These 2 guys are going to have a fun battle. Obviously, just going for and having fun during that All-Star weekend that Adam Silver was, thank God, able to pull off. I know with a lot of scrutiny there. I hope that it's going to be a great game, man. This Eastern Conference team, it looks pretty damn good. A lot better than other Eastern Conference teams, mainly because they recruited talent from the West.
Katie and Harden, man.
Exactly. They all went to one team, and it just happened to be in the Eastern Conference. But, Zoo, what were your thoughts on the Eastern Conference? I know your boy didn't make it.
Oh, man. Yeah, but yeah, just going for the obvious pick, man. Joel Embiid, best center in basketball.
Yeah.
Best center in basketball. Yeah, I said it. This guy's healthy. When this guy is healthy,
we may have to
this guy is healthy. Yeah, that is true, man. But when he's healthy, he's like Shaq, man. He's like Shaq down low, man. Have you seen his numbers? Have you seen his numbers? Joel Embiid this year is putting up his best statistical season in his career, man. 30 and 11. He's putting up 30 points as a center.
Yeah, but he didn't play with Kobe Bryant hogging the ball all the time. Shaq's numbers could have been way better if he never played with Kobe.
Oh, what is
He's playing
stopping,
with
man?
Ben Simmons,
What was his numbers with Penny?
Yeah, Shaq.
With Penny?
I don't know what it.
Shaq
Yeah, I
was
don't
like
know.
20. Shaq was like 28 and 10.
His
28
career
and 10.
average is
So,
like 24 and 10, I think, is his career. But I
Yeah,
mean, everybody
but-
knows the end of his career was atrocious.
but yeah,
Yeah, he's just-
Um,
Yeah.
he was averaging like 29 and 13.
yeah, I'm saying he's putting up Shaq numbers, man,
Yeah.
and he's leading the Sixers to W's right now, man. On top of
Yeah.
the East right now, that's impressive. Especially Ben Simmons still doesn't got a jump shot, man. Don't have a jump shot, man. I'm sorry, man. That dude needs to learn how to shoot. They're never going to
That's
win a
wild.
championship if he doesn't learn how to
Nope.
shoot. So,
Yeah.
but Joel Embiid, obvious as the center position. KD and Giannis, just no brainers, man. You don't got to think about that. But then the guard position, man. This is where it gets interesting because you got the obvious. You got James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, and Zach LaVine. Those are the options, man. We got to stop leaving this brother out, man. Zach LaVine is better than Bradley Beal.
Stop.
Yep,
Stop.
I said it.
Stop.
I said it. He's
Stop.
better than
Next
Bradley
topic.
Beal, man.
No.
He
Next
is
topic.
better. The dude
Next
is
topic.
averaging
Yeah, let's transition.
29, 5, and 5 on 50% shooting, 40% from 3, and 85 from the line. He's 5% from the free throw line for 50, 40, 90. He's on the high volume shooting, man. The dude's averaging 29, 5, and 5, man, on 50% shooting. I said it. And look at, okay, I'm going to bring up the record, man. Zach LaVine on a pretty young Chicago Bulls roster, man. 12 and 15, 44% of their wins, man. Look at the Washington Wizards, man. The team I put as an 8th seed. 34%. There's a 10% difference. Is there a 10% difference in talent? I do not think so. Markkanen's been injured. Wendell's been injured. My thoughts about Westbrook being sucky, but he's more talented than a lot of players on the Chicago Bulls, man.
I take
So they
LaVine
should-
over
they-
Russ one-on-one.
Absolutely. No, not even a question. Are you kidding me? Zach LaVine is an elite shooter, an elite athlete, dominant ball handler, getting better. Yeah, getting
not
better.
a ball
yes,
handler.
getting better as a passer.
Wow.
5 assists,
Okay,
more
I agree.
playmaking, passing out of double teams. He's been a lot better this year. So 29, 5, and 5. Overall, I think his numbers are overall better than Bradley Beal's, and his team has a better record. Zach LaVine is my starter for the Eastern Conference, man, based on all this evidence, man. And stop it. Zach LaVine is better than Kyrie Irving. He is better than Kyrie Irving. The only reason Kyrie
He's just
Irving
saying-
is relevant, wait for it, is because he played with LeBron James. Was Kyrie
know what?
loser on
He
the
was a
Cleveland
loser.
Cavaliers, man?
He was.
He got blessed with LeBron, and he got the opportunity. He got to win a championship. And if Zach LaVine right now played with LeBron, they could get a championship. I said it.
Well,
Zach
LeBron can
LaVine
do that
is
with
the
everybody,
number-
though.
Dude, no. It takes
He
a
can do that with-
special number 2 option. It takes a special number, a partner in crime to go to battle with. And Zach LaVine as a primary option, number 2 option, as a scorer in the clutch. I watch every minute of this man play this year, and he has been unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. He is starting on my Eastern Conference All-Star team, man.
I'm
I
not
said
taking
it.
anything. Listen,
He's better than Kyrie Irving. He's better than Bradley Beal. Kyrie Irving's always been.
I stopped listening at Bradley Beal.
yeah.
Yeah, I said it, man.
All right.
And then for the
All right,
guard position,
Zoo.
I'm putting in James Harden. I agree with you. I'm
Zoo.
putting in James.
Zoo,
Okay.
oh, you're putting Harden in with
Yes.
LaVine?
James Harden is better. Yeah, James Harden is better than Kyrie Irving and Bradley Beal. Wait,
Well, I can
the
listen to
MVP
that argument.
he's
I
that-
can
yeah.
listen to that.
Yeah.
Oh
I can
yeah,
listen to that.
I'm glad you at least put Harden in there because I agree with you in that, dude. I wanted to put LaVine in there purely heart over mind right there, but dude, and Zoo, I will give you credit that LaVine has been way more efficient of a scorer than I expected.
50%, and he
50%.
takes step back threes, bro. It's not like layups and dunks all day. He takes hard shots.
He's shooting 52% from the field and 43.7 from 3. That's pretty damn impressive. Especially when he's shooting like how many threes a game is he shooting? He's shooting 8 threes a game and he's making
High
43%
volume,
of them.
baby.
High
High
volume
volume.
three-point shooter. I would say he's a more efficient scorer than Bradley Beal, and I'll give you props on that one. But Bradley Beal's a better defender than Zach LaVine
Way
ever
better.
will be.
Way better. It's not
Way
even
better.
Like you only look
Zach
at
LaVine got better this year, man.
Zach
He's
LaVine's
gotten
a bigger
better this
guy.
year, man.
No,
Zach LaVine is the bigger athlete. 6'5", 6'6",
Exactly.
longer wingspan.
That's why he should be. That's why he should be the better defender.
He should be the better perimeter defender. He's a bigger guy. I agree with
He
Sean.
could be locking guys up.
Yeah,
Listen,
but he doesn't.
I think Zach LaVine has shown he is a legitimate scorer. He's a legitimate shooter. We get it. Like I understand.
He's a legit all-star.
I think where Zoo may have a headache is don't be surprised if he doesn't get in over Randall because Randall's been killing and he's got a better record. And he's got a better record. He's got a better record.
Julius
Sean,
Randle.
don't say that.
Dude, go look at Julius Randle. Go look at his stats. He's been balling. And New York is in the playoffs.
So are the Bulls.
Like top 8, I think, though. They're not. What are the Bulls?
Yeah, Knicks are actually. Dude, it's half a game, man. Half a game. That's
what happens when it's that tight. That's what happens when it's that tight.
But Sean, the issue that may come up though is he's front court, and that's going to be KD and Giannis all day.
I'm talking about his reserve. I'm not talking about starting. I'm talking about getting in.
Fair.
That's what I'm talking about.
But still,
like they both could get in.
They'll both get in. They'll both get in if anything.
Because Julius has got 23, 10, and 5.
Dude,
that's crazy.
LaVine's like the second most voted for.
29, 5 and 5. Those are ridiculous numbers, man.
I'm not saying LaVine. I'm not saying LaVine ain't good, bro. But I don't know.
Look right now, LaVine season or Kyrie Irving. Who's having a better season, Kyrie or LaVine?
LaVine.
Yeah, LaVine's had a better season than Kyrie Irving.
Well, Kyrie was gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's my point. So he ain't a conversation, man.
And I know we're going over time, but I don't like your point saying that I would take Dame and Kyrie before I would take LaVine taking the last shot or being clutch. And that's not even close.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that he could be the guy to close games.
No, he's saying like he could be an option to be the guy.
He is one of those elite options, man. Create his own shot.
He's been killing. He's been killing. Yeah. He definitely, I will say, in terms of his arc, in terms of a player, because he went from like the dunk guy, and then like even in Minnesota, he had some games where he had like, he can play a little bit. But now when he's gotten to Chicago, he's turned it up. So I will say, like LaVine, I don't think he's a starter.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Michael Jordan having Doug Collins as a coach, man. Billy Donovan's just letting LaVine get the green light whenever he wants, man. He's just letting him play, and they're not going to make it far, but they're just going to be entertaining as a team. They're going to be relatively fun to watch night in and night out. Hell, man, I've had a lot of excitement watching Bulls games this year.
It's been a great season. A lot of lows, but a lot of highs.
A lot of highs, and that's better than I can say for the past 2 to 3 years when it comes to the Chicago Bulls. I think he's going to get – he obviously did not get the starter or not. I'm sorry to break it to you, Zoo, if you didn't read the article yourself. Yeah. But I think he will be a reserve if he isn't. That
will be better than Bradley Beal, man. My God, he's better. He's having a better season than Bradley Beal.
You were the one that wanted Bradley Beal on the Bulls.
Yes! With LaVine, man. So then we got 2 stars, man. 2 stars.
I'd say they're pretty interchangeable. If you're really going to break it down, I'd say like they balance out relatively well. I'd say LaVine's a more efficient scorer because he can get to the rim.
Way more efficient. Dude, Bradley Beal's a 33% shooter from downtown.
But he's putting up more points per game. They're averaging about the same assists and rebounds.
Because he's chucking up more shots. That's the only difference.
LaVine's got efficiency, exactly, which is why he's more efficient.
He shoots
also
4 more shots, man. If LaVine shot 4 more times, he would average
LaVine also
probably
doesn't have to share the ball with Russell Westbrook. Hey, somebody had to say it.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
That's a big
LaVine wouldn't be doing that if he had a Russell, because Russell would be bringing the ball.
Yeah, but I got to bring this up. Russell's been injured all year, man. In COVID protocols, he's been out like half the game so far. So you can't even say that as a reason. That's holding Bradley Beal back because the dude's been out.
As we've said, Zoo, who's their third option? Nobody.
Yeah, it's Davis Bertans.
It's absolutely atrocious. Sean's a big Bertans lover, man. He loves Davis Bertans, man. Thinks he's best contract in the NBA.
He's a poor man's KP.
Oh!
All right, next time. All right. I just did that to see what Zoo's reaction was.
Just got to rile him up.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what his reaction would be. But he's not a poor man's KP. But Speaking of red hot teams, which is not the Washington Wizards, but the Utah Jazz, I don't even know how many. I think they won like 19, 20 in a row, something like that. They've been on the tear. I think personally is because of Bogdanovich coming. I think is his name, Bogdanovich, the forward. Not sure. He came back, and I feel like it's balanced out the roster. They just have everything. They have guys that can get to the bucket. They have whether it's Mitchell, they have guys, like Gobert who can defend the paint, Conley run the offense. They're a complete team. I want to ask the guys, do they believe the Utah Jazz is a legitimate threat to, I guess, I won't say go to the finals, but make some noise in the playoffs? Or do you guys just think this is regular season or just turn it up? Zoo, I'm interested to hear your answer on this.
Do you know what they are? They're the Atlanta Hawks that won 60 games.
I knew you were going to say it.
Oh, man.
I knew it.
This is fool's gold. This is the power of teamwork in the regular season, man. Everybody getting touches. Everybody shooting threes. No pressure. Oh, man. Playing team basketball with team defense, man. This is fool's gold, man, because my philosophy of these types of offensive, man. The only team that was able to get it done was that one San Antonio Spurs team. That was our team, man.
Mavericks.
Stop it. That was Dirk.
The Pistons did it too.
Oh, what?
Pistons.
Oh, no, that was the greatest. No, that 04 Pistons team was the greatest defense in NBA modern history. That's why they won a champion. They held teams to 80 points a game.
They had like they had 3 scorers at about 18 a game.
Yeah, they had some 3 like borderline, like barely all-star caliber players.
Yeah.
If you look at this roster, like Donovan Mitchell, I love Donovan Mitchell. This dude's, I think this guy's a superstar, man.
All-star reserve.
Perennial all-star. This guy's a perennial all-star. I look at the rest of the roster, man. Bunch of nice, cute players, man. Like Gobert, okay, you got your rim protector. Clarkson, you got your 6th man. Conley, you get your floor general. Bogey, you get your nice 3-and-D type guy. Joe Ingles is a nice little wing guy, a little passer, crafty little 3-point shooter. It's a cute team, man. Like, I don't see any superstars outside of Donovan Mitchell, man. So who is Donovan's sidekick when in the playoffs he gets double teamed? Mike Conley? You trust Mike Conley to be the Mike Conley of Memphis Grizzlies who is getting buckets? I don't think so, man. I think he's slightly out of his prime. Jordan Clarkson? You think Jordan Clarkson is going to maintain this scoring average of 18 points a game in the playoffs? I don't think so. You think he can put up 18 points a game because they'll need him. They'll need every 18 points because they need a guy to create his own shot. I'm just saying.
What do you have to say otherwise? Just the fact that it could happen, or the fact that he's just happened to be averaging 18 a game in 26 minutes a game over the past 30 games?
Yeah, it's impressive, man. It's a cute story,
6 man
man.
of the year.
Yeah, it happens every year, man. These teams that come out of nowhere, they may if they get the number 1 seed, they can make it to the conference final. They give you that because they don't have to play the Lakers or Clippers.
I agree.
If you avoid the Lakers or Clippers, you might get a second round match against like maybe the Blazers, the Suns. Okay, then you could win a 7-game series. But if they play the Lakers or Clippers, I think the Lakers or Clippers are going to take care of business. So they can't make the conference finals if they avoid them. But you know what LeBron going to do, man? LeBron and AD, Lakers in 5. That's what's going to happen, man. Lakers in 5 will be a cute story.
If they're healthy.
Make it to the finals. Yeah, oh yeah. AD, that Achilles.
You better watch out.
Yeah, that is true. I give you that.
That's the second one. Since the bubble, that's the second time he's hurt his Achilles.
Yeah, I give you that. Like, if AD's out, then the Lakers, I don't think, have a shot
LeBron can't
at
carry.
all. No. Yeah, the roster is like, they're all role players. They're all role players, man. So.
No, LeBron just can't carry. That's just
stop! Stop, man. This dude carried the city of Cleveland, man. And got them a title. And then he carried the city of LA, got them a superstar with Clutch Sports, and then they won a title.
Clutch, baby.
All about.
I don't know if he carried AD. AD did a bit of carrying in that
series.
I'm just saying. We don't have to revisit that. He hit that game winner that could have made that series real interesting.
Got AD over here. So I'm just saying LeBron made some
he's
maneuvers.
The Tom Brady. He's the Tom Brady of the NBA, man. That's really all he is. But look, so the way I approached this question with the Jazz was, could I see them making the conference finals? Not winning the championship, but could I see them making noise, pulling what the Nuggets did last year? I could see him doing it, man. I really could. I think that, like you said, I think getting the 1 seed would be probably the most crucial part of their season. Yeah.
They need it.
And they really need to hope that the Clippers don't, fall off a little bit, allow another team to sneak past them, because the Clippers can be deadly. Who knows if we're going to get playoff P again? 2.0, not sure. It could happen. Who knows? But look, man, the biggest thing the difference between this team and they attempt the least amount of 2-pointers a game in the league and the most 3-pointers in the league. And they're number 4 in points per game. Think about that. They shoot the least amount of layups, floaters, blah, blah, but they jack the most. And they're middle of the pack in 3-point percentage. They're not even that high, but they shoot so many that they're just putting up 115 a game, which, by the way, 115 a game being 4th in the NBA is ridiculous. That blows my mind. There's 3 teams that average more than 115 points per game. It's absolutely ridiculous. But look, I think it comes down to their defense, and I think it comes down to their efficiency, man. They're a very efficient team. They have balanced scoring. And like you said, dude, you're like, oh, who do they go to when they have Donovan Mitchell? Well, pick your poison. They have about 4 or 5 options. Anybody?
I'm talking about guys you can take over in the playoffs, not have a regular season game, man. So you think you trust Jordan Clarkson there in the clutch? You trust Mike Conley
in the clutch? I don't give a damn who's being double teamed. That ball is going to Donovan Mitchell. Yeah. If you're that good, you get yourself open.
Yeah.
So I trust Donovan Mitchell to take the last shot because it's going to him. It's not going to go to Rudy Gobert or Mike Conley. It's going to Donovan Mitchell. But do you trust the guys to give you a good enough of a performance? Well, when you have 6 or 7 guys that average double digits, I kind of trust the same decision that I made with the Miami Heat last year, man, who are on a surge right now, pushing back into the playoffs. You better watch out.
Stop it on the surge, man. They have a worse record than the Chicago Bulls, man. They are no
bottom surge. 3 team. They were a bottom 3 team.
That's very embarrassing, man.
It is very
Dude, they're not even winning 40% of their games yet, man. What?
You know what else is embarrassing? When the Jazz lost 3-1 deficit, man, to the Clippers, I think it lit a fire in them.
You mean the Nuggets, right?
Yeah, sorry. Yes, the Nuggets on the Jazz. The Nuggets coming back 3-1 on the Jazz. I think it lit a fire under the Jazz. I think they have something to prove, man. I don't think they will win the finals. Hell, I would give them a 30% chance of making the finals. I honestly think that they can make a run just because if they can hold home court advantage, that's huge. Not having to face LA, double time, whichever one. Because I do think they would lose either series. I really do. But I think they could beat any other team in the West. In a 7-game series, I really think they can.
Yeah, I give you that. If you look at the rest of the West, man, Portland, Phoenix, San Antonio, Golden State, Denver, man, they're all in similar tiers. Maybe Denver's slightly.
Don't forget Memphis.
Stop it. Stop it. Man, Memphis makes the playoffs, man. Holy crap, man. That team is bad. I'm sorry.
Over New Orleans.
Dude. New Orleans, man. 12-16, man. Pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them.
It's a really talented team, man. Yeah, Zion's been an absolute animal, man. Animal. You see him 60% shooting, man? 60% shooting.
It's really turning into wins, though.
Okay.
It's because him and Ingram, one of them, and it's going to be Ingram, they got to get out of there. They just don't fit.
And I think the fit with Steven Adams is a little weird, man.
He's got to go to Memphis, man.
He's going to Memphis, man. Dude, I think it's the fit with Steven Adams, man. Steven Adams can't shoot. Zion needs shooters around him. Here's a trade that might happen. Lauri Markkanen for Alonzo Ball.
I would not.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because
I don't know why the Bulls would do that. Yeah,
why the hell would you do that?
I'm just saying it's been discussed around in the
I'd do Lauri for Brandon Ingram.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm hanging up the phone.
I would do it in a heartbeat, man.
I'm hanging up the phone and I'm cutting the cord.
Draft picks included, but if I'm talking the 2 main players in the package, I would do that.
Give me Lauri and Patrick Williams, and we can have a discussion.
Ooh, I wouldn't do that.
And I want to pick.
I can't do it. When the Paul becomes the new Kawhi,
I'm hanging up.
He's untradeable right now. Too much young talent, man. Too much young talent.
Youngest player in the league, baby.
Yeah. Crazy.
That would be the first conversation I would have. I think a team in the West, like besides Utah, because they've been winning, I think the Suns have a really good chance playoff time. Just because I feel like Book, if he gets in the playoffs, I know he's not going to be scared. So that's a guy that can take a shot. Chris Paul, we know what he does in the playoffs as long as he's healthy. And I feel like they got a lot of like, I don't know, guys that we don't really know about, but like I think it's like Bridges, and then they got Cam Johnson. They got a lot of good, decent shooters. They got the big guy with Ayton. Like, yeah, they got a formula where I could see if they get in a series. I know, even though I haven't seen Book do it before, I know if he gets there, he's going to be able to do it. So you got two bona fide guys that can like get buckets and get in the right sets. I think
you know what the final part of that formula is, Sean? Kendall Jenner being up in the box, man. As long as she's at the games, Booker's gonna pop off every night, man.
I do not.
He's stealing games and girls from Ben Simmons, man. That's Devin Booker's lifestyle.
That three in Ben Simmons' face, man.
No, that is crazy because she was wearing Ben stuff courtside, and the next thing you know, you're with like, I mean, it's not a foe because they don't.
Man, Kendall Jenner, man, she has a thing for light-skinned basketball players, man. Only light-skinned. Like she had Devin Booker. Let's go, Devin Booker. You got Ben Simmons. You got Blake Griffin. You got Jordan Clarkson. So
that is weird. That is a weird stat you just thought.
You can tell she's got a type.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It's crazy. That's a freaking all-star team right there, man.
Yeah, it is.
I kind of forgot
about
the Clarkson. Totally forgot about Clarkson. I don't know if that was before.
Maybe that's
I don't
why
know
he's putting up 18 a game right now. He got his confidence up.
You got to be a certain level of caliber player to date Kendall Jenner.
Well, when was that? When Clarkson was with the
Lakers?
Cavs, Lakers? Okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah,
not the Cavs. She wasn't going to Cleveland. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Jordan Clarkson's weird, too, because he's doing all this in Utah, but I call it the LeBron effect. Like, when I saw him in that finals game,
he was awful.
Game 1,
he was awful.
He wasn't ready. So it's like, and the same thing with George Hill, wasn't ready. I just feel like that. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like guys leave LeBron to start
man.
Yeah,
George Hill played on the Spurs, man.
Yeah. He got traded for Kawhi. That was crazy. But I tell you this, man. I think it's going to be real interesting with the playoffs, East and West, because this might be the first year, at least in terms of me watching 1 through 8, any outcome won't surprise me outside of like a 1-8 getting beat. Like, there's a lot of deep teams. Like, in the East, there's like 3 or 4 that could legit win. In the West, especially with the Utah Jazz, there's now you could say 3 to maybe 4 teams that can win. So it's going to make for an interesting playoffs as long as everybody's healthy and stuff. I think it's going to make for a really good playoffs because it's right around the corner. Because I feel like once March Madness is over, it's going to be right there playoff time. So, that's it for tonight. You know, we had to get our college basketball topics in. We told ourselves we were going to do close to 30-35 minutes, but I think that second topic got people a little bit riled up, which I understand. And it's going to happen next week because the reserves are going to come out. Let's just hope.
He better make it. He better make it. Or I'm going to riot, man.
I'm rooting for Julius.
Yeah, they're all. Oh, man, that would be rough if Julius made it and Zach did. But Zach and Julius, what is guaranteed one of them are going to make it, but if I had to put money on it, they're both going to make it. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Should they dude, because coaches are voting for this, right? And the Chicago Bulls without Zach LaVine would be the worst team in the NBA. They would be the worst team in the NBA. Dude, legit. They'll be up there with the Charlotte Bobcats team with 9 wins, man. Dude, legit. This team would be horrendous.
The Devin Harris Nets.
Like, our best player would be like Thad Young.
Thagic Johnson, man.
Dude, he low-key a good passer, man. I love his passing, man.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to think. Are they doing a rookie sophomore game or whatever, or World USA game this year or no?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's one game.
Because I'm about to think of like who would make that team, but that's another topic for another day. Like I said, we're gonna get more college basketball topics in because March Madness is around the corner. We're gonna be talking about the reserves next week. And I also want to make sure you guys follow the podcast on on Instagram, Bullheaded Pod _ Pod. A lot of great content we putting up. Like today, I put up stuff about Carson Wentz, another topic we might be able to talk about next week. But as usual, for me, for Zoo, for P. Bush, we out.